and the Pokemon Company. How about a shout out? That franchise has been around for 20 years. Pokemon celebrated its 20-year anniversary. There's a big Super Bowl ad. Some of you may have seen it for Pokemon to commemorate that. But they've taken such great care of that game and the environment around it, and such great care in nurturing it all these years. So we felt like bringing that together with our real-world gaming experience, we'd have some level of success. But I mean, it's been nuts. I had to fly to Japan for this Ingress event just as we were starting the global rollout, and I left most of my team behind here. So Ed, thank you. Phil, thank you. Tatsuo, Dennis. These people were sitting there, and the servers just got bombarded.
Right. What do you mean? I haven't had any problems. Worked like a charm right from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to give any numbers out, but we had a lot of, we worked at Google for a while. Google Maps is used by a lot of people. And there's some world-class technologists on our team and a huge, amazing team at Google that were backing us up, the Google Cloud team, where our service lives. But we weren't provisioned for what happened. And so we had to add a bunch of servers, and then we had to figure out some bugs in our system that were created by that. But yeah, the team did an amazing job as this thing exploded. But yeah, it was surreal for me in Japan, kind of watching through social media, and my wife and other friends were saying, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And yeah, when it showed up on Jimmy Fallon, it was like, wow, yeah, I guess it's something at this point.
Well, yeah, and the first couple of days, because I know I would see people get upset and be like, I can't get on, and I had trouble getting on too, and your team tweeted back at me, and they're like, we're working on it, and I just sort of understanding, all of a sudden I was shouting at someone the way that people shout at me about things that I don't entirely control. I don't know who Negan killed. I don't. And so, I understood, they expected it to do well, but I don't think you can't predict this kind of viral quality to something. So I assume you guys were just like, what the shit? Like you're just trying to figure it out right away.
Totally calm. Ice cold. No, there was a little excitement running around the office for sure. But for us, more than anything, as you mentioned, just to go out in the street, we had that experience. I had it in my neighborhood. Our local park was flooded with middle schoolers and high schoolers playing Pokemon Go. People walking the streets of San Francisco. It's so amazing to see. And, I credit that. The game is the game, but the game is really an excuse to go outside and walk around and see your city and have fun with other people. And that's the cool part, I think.
But it's already created, whenever I go to a stop, I see other people there, I instantly have something to talk to them about. Hey, did you find this? Did you catch this? How are you guys doing? And I go to this diner every morning for breakfast, and there's a real hard-looking dude who kind of seats people, and he's like shaved head. He just looks hard. He just looks like a, dude. He's a hard dude. I'm not. I'm feeble, and so I'm eating, but I'm kind of playing at the same time because I just drop lures at the stops across from the diner, and then I just rake them in. Always drop a lucky egg, double up the XP, and then just like level up. I'll buy the eggs because I have a good job and I don't care. I'll just buy them. I'll just buy like 1,000 eggs. Like I don't give a shit. I'll use them. And
by the way, if this feels unrehearsed, it's because yesterday we were supposed to practice this, and Chris spent the first 10 minutes catching a Pikachu. So
you know why? The Pikachu showed up the second you walked in the room. I was like, "You're magic!"
But this is supposed to rehearse.
But this dude, you can't rehearse these. This dude at the diner, he saw me playing, and he looked around, and he goes, "Hey man, there's a shit ton of Pokemon at Santa Monica Pier," and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I might have to go offline
and
get something else so I can run my app.
Like we bonded over this. So and I don't know if you guys saw this from the State Department. Did you see this from the State Department? There was a press conference, and he said to the front row, "You're playing the Pokemon thing right there, aren't you?" And the reporter goes, "I'm just going to keep it open." And later on in the conference, the guy goes, "Did you catch him?" And he's like, "Yeah." So, but beyond that, beyond just the fact that it's entertainment,
make sure to follow me on Twitter.
Real health benefits and there's real social value to what's happening. I know the Guardian called it a national health service. They said, what makes Pokemon Go irresistible is that it's basically a good old-fashioned treasure hunt crossed with a fairy tale, adding up to that parenting holy grail, an excuse to go out in the fresh air and move. So it's actually helping people exercise, do better for their health. Was that something you had planned?
Well, I had done some reading when we were first starting up the group about, and for me personally, I was in a real high-stress job for those 7 years when we were building Google Maps. I mean, you can imagine kind of all the craziness around that as that product kind of exploded and Google and so on. And I was just personally trying to get more relaxed in my life, and I was reading about ways to do that. And as it turns out, walking actually has huge amounts of benefit for you physiologically and mentally. There have been a number of studies about this. There's a great book called Spark about this. It actually makes you smarter, so you think better whenever after you walk. Helps your brain function. That's why a lot of scientists are sort of known for taking long walks in the woods and when they're trying to solve hard problems. So we had this idea that if we could incorporate a little bit of that into the app, that people would probably like it. But we certainly didn't want to advertise that as, a fitness app or something of that nature. I mean,
right.
I've got kids. You don't tell your kids that it's good for them. You give them something that tastes good, and it also happens to be good for them. So, we just thought we could roll it in and it would make a really fun product to incorporate that. But it's been great to see. I mean, I've got a 10-year-old who, he loves to play Minecraft like every other 10-year-old in the world.
No problem.
And he's begging his mom to go out on 5-kilometer walks and 10-kilometer walks to hatch his eggs. So my wife's very happy about that, and that's a good thing.
But beyond the exercise benefits, I know it's also been used as a mental health aid for emotional support in hospitals. They're starting to use it therapeutically to work with children. I know it's been especially helpful for autism and people working on it. But you guys have a video, a quick little video.
Yeah, this was cool.
If I'm trying to get a kid to raise his arms up or to squat down, I can say, hey, the guy's a little bit lower, can you reach down and get him? And that's just a really tricky way that physical therapy or occupational therapy can get a kid to do the exercise that he was screaming and crying about 5 minutes ago that he didn't want to do. It kind of raises the general atmosphere of happiness here. It's a technology that's only going to get better and can be more exciting.
So this probably wasn't something that you foresaw when you were designing this. It would be a therapeutic tool.
Yeah, obviously we're not doctors and we didn't think about it from that point of view, but from the standpoint of us and the team back at Niantic, and again, everybody on the team, thank you. People have been working 24/7. The thing that gets people out of bed and people tell this to me practically every day, the thing that motivates them to put so much into working on their product and keeping the servers up and running is to hear back stories like that people are using the product in ways that we never expected, and is having a benefit out there that's bigger than just playing a game. So yeah.
Yeah, and I would encourage, I would imagine that when you release something like this, you just don't know how people are going to ultimately, use every corner of the app and every corner of the service. So I guess if people are discovering different ways to utilize the app and the service, I assume they should just share that with you, tweet that at you guys, let you know, send videos, send stories?
Yeah, please do. If it's bringing you, brings you to a good experience socially or exercise or whatever, share it. It's a great positive cycle. I don't need to tell you guys, there's a lot of negative stuff going on in the world right now. All you have to do is watch the evening news. And I don't know, maybe part of the reason that people embrace Pokemon Go this summer is because of that.
Sure, follow me on Twitter.
Out there. And it's a bright spot, for the reasons I mentioned. I'm not trying to hype the game so much as to say the things it's encouraging people to do, which is hang out with other people and go outside, get to know your neighbors, meet new folks. Those are the actions that are going to get us as a society through the period that we're going through right now. So share it, absolutely.
I don't think, yeah. I don't think anyone would discount that seeing a Jigglypuff automatically makes them happy. Just, oh my god! I had people at the comedy show the other night who were tweeting pictures of different Pokemon that were on the stage instead. But it was great to. It's just been a really great way to immediately connect. And also, Pokemon was this game put me in the really wonderful position of having to explain to two women in a yogurt shop that I was not photographing their children. Because I just had I've turned my AR off now, like when I'm in stores or restaurants, because I just noticed I was doing this. And people were like, what?
So, if something spawns, I'm going to film you, okay? I'm going to film your phone.
Suggestions that you guys have? Are there other
So don't be
things
creeped
that
out
you
if I like start going like
maybe
this.
have coming up, or Easter eggs or anything about the game that you would
I've
share?
got like
with
10 of
people
them
or
since the
anything
panel
else?
started.
Well,
Like, what would you get?
there are a lot of Pokemon.
Like Ponytas, a bunch of Ponytas, huh?
Working on crafting this amazing universe for so long, as I mentioned.
Charmander.
Oh, what?
And I mean, to your point about being happy, the characters are just fantastic. And that's to the creativity and care that's gone into that, into making them by the Pokemon Company.
Execute.
So there are a certain set of Pokemon that are available in the game right now. They appear in certain places. They like to live in certain
I
habitats.
kept getting Ponytas.
There's some rare ones that haven't shown up yet that probably will show up. And beyond first gen Pokemon, there are other Pokemon that might make their way into our universe. So that's something that we're looking forward
I got
to
you.
finding interesting ways to make that happen over the coming months and years. I know a lot of people are interested in trading. For those of you that, if you played, the Game Boy version, the Game Boy Advance version, the DS version, trading, cable, you hook up, you trade. That's really awesome. I mean, that's a great kind of social thing. It's a reason to talk to somebody, strike up a conversation. So that's not in Pokemon Go today, but it is something that we are working on bringing to that product. But don't get too excited. We have to kind of make sure the servers are going to stay up before we can work too hard on that. And there are some other things. I've been working on gyms and Pokestops. I see lures everywhere, like in the park across the street. I was in Old Town last night. There were lures on almost every Pokestop down there. So we think that's a pretty cool idea that you can find an object, acquire an object that's going to change the functionality of a Pokestop and give it new capabilities. There aren't Pokemon centers in the game right now. There's some other functionality that we want to bring to it, probably through the ability to customize Pokestops along with your friends and teammates to kind of build up an area for your gameplay.
Right, so the gyms aren't really the last stop. There's more to come. There's more to do and more things to do with them beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, Ingress has been running for 3 years. It's an MMO. Pokemon Go we look at as an MMO, meaning this is it's a massively multiplayer online game that we expect to run for years, and we're going to continue to invest in it in that way, extending the functionality, adding new Pokemon, adding new capabilities throughout the product. So we're excited. We got probably a tenth of the ideas that we had when we kicked this thing off 2 years ago into the initial release. So, and we're obviously getting flooded with lots of great ideas coming in from the community. So it's just the beginning. Absolutely. Yeah.
Can I pitch just a dumb idea? Can I just pitch one idea?
Why not?
Okay, good.
Here we are.
Right. What are you going to do? Say no? There's 7,000 people. He's going to be like, no, I don't want to hear it. I would love to, because sometimes when I come back home, there's not really anything in the neighborhood that I live in, because I live near a bunch of old people who don't like anything.
Make sure follow me on Twitter.
And so where their joy is gone. Maybe I should give them the game. And I just sort of feel like it'd be really cool to have like a home gym. Like I could just create a private home gym where I could just maybe it doesn't affect any numbers, but it's just sort of like a practice gym so that I can at least, engage with the game when I'm sitting at home. I know the goal is to get out. But sometimes when I'm just not around other people and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I need my fix, man.
How are you doing with the fitness thing? Are you feeling Are you pretty buff? Or
Yeah, I wouldn't. Buff is not a word I would ever use near me, but I do exercise because I'm in my 40s now, and this is where it all shit falls apart, So I do exercise, but I have not done the kind of cardio. I mean, I'm legitimately hiking, and I was not a hiker before.
Yeah, I mean, I was just asking because, I mean, there are some people out there who, like, after dinner, they would go out for a walk, and visit some Pokestops or gyms,
Well, so, I mean, LA, I don't know. It's a little dicey about running around the street. LA, what's interesting is LA, is anyone here from LA? Not a pedestrian culture. Not a pedestrian culture. There's that joke in LA Story where Steve Martin drives a block, like 4 houses. And that really is indicative of LA culture, but I'm actually seeing people out on the streets on this scavenger hunt, basically, has kind of breathed sort of new community into Los Angeles, legitimately.
I mean, I know Ingress players have colonized LA everywhere from downtown to Venice, Santa Monica, everywhere in between, and gone into these spaces, frankly, that have been in large part abandoned by pedestrians. I don't know. I mean, I don't live in LA. I live in San Francisco, but I visit LA a lot, and I used to go down there frequently because Google has an office down there. And I feel like LA is really starting to transform itself and to take back parts of the city that kind of got left behind by the car culture that took over 20 years ago or 30 years ago. So yeah, with the subway now connecting downtown to the beach, which is awesome. I think there's plenty of opportunities in LA to get out and explore all the amazing little pockets in that city. So yeah, maybe you're not going to walk everywhere, but you can certainly go, you can check out Little Tokyo and all the cool stuff down there. You know, it'd be a great trip to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I think since when I was a kid and I would go to arcades, and if you wanted to learn how to get better at a game, you had to watch someone else play it, like Dragon's Lair or something, where someone would go, oh, you got to do this, you got to jump him this way, like Dirk, you got to jump him this way, and that's how I would learn. And that has not happened. I would always go to the internet for hacks and trying to figure out stuff, but just walking around and people go, oh yeah, here's how you throw a curveball. Damn it! Crap! But I figured it out by talking to another person.
You gotta spin.
You gotta spin. Have you guys confirmed any of the sort of Easter eggy things? Did you officially confirm the EV name hack?
Yeah, so anybody got any EVs out there? Holy cow. So yes, if you name your EV properly, you can control how it's going to evolve. So that's pretty cool. There might be a few other Easter eggs buried in there yet to be discovered.
Uh-oh, you guys hear that?
Whoa, and the crowd went sour. Hold him down until he says it!
You feel there's a ton of security for some reason.
You talked about this a little bit with Ingress, but
something.
Also having Pokemon Go. We had noticed some of our team just did a very last minute, hey, let's meet up and just do a walk around the Santa Monica Pier, which again, I heard is, has tons of them. 300 people showed up out of nowhere. So how have the Pokemon meetups been doing around the world? You guys monitoring that? How have they been?
Yeah, well, obviously they weren't planned, and people just started doing them. The ones in Central Park, and like Justin Bieber's running through the streets of Manhattan to play Pokemon Go, which I thought was interesting. But there was one in San Francisco that happened on Wednesday, and somebody just put it on their Facebook page, not really knowing what would happen, and 9,000 plus people said they'd come, and I think many thousands of people actually did show up. I walked out of our office. Our servers were down part of that day, by the way, and the team was working. It was tense. They were working right up until a half hour before the event was supposed to kick off to get our servers back online. But they got them online, and thousands of people descended on the streets of San Francisco and marched all the way from the Mission to downtown.
The same as Periscope at Paul Fierce.
Cool.
I think at some point in San Francisco, you guys have to do some kind of PokeCon or something,
PokeCon.
PokeCon.
Anybody up for that?
PokeCon. I feel like we could probably open up the floor for a couple of questions that people might have. We could just take a couple of questions and then... What did I summon? Was there a video or something you wanted to show, or did you just want everyone to break out into a dance party? Everybody dance! Nice job, nice job. I see the dancing. I see you down there. What is your name and question? Oh, okay. We need to get on the same page. Every time you're about to ask, are you summoning the music? Okay. I don't trust it. It's not going to happen. What is your name?
My name's Sophia, and I was kind of wondering, after we get sorted out with the glitches and some of the other stuff maybe comes online, maybe we'll get breeding in the game?
Breeding in the game. Oh.
Nice.
That music kicks back in.
Of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Interesting idea. It's not immediately, it's not like we've been working on that and it's about to come out, but I think it's a cool idea. There's been some discussion about it, so we'll take that as a great suggestion. Thank you.
Yes, I'm your mother. I asked you to stay at home so mommy could play Pokemon. That's all right.
So my question is, I've heard about the training. Just give me a moment. Training in Pokemon Go. So when is the training update gonna come?
Okay.
Oh, he gets right to the point.
Yeah, I know. The giggling assassin. Giggle, giggle, giggle. When do I get my thing?
I mean, I teased it. I said we we're going to do it, but
Yes.
he wants the date.
He wants something.
He's got a future as a
Yeah.
project manager.
I absolutely.
The date.
Oh, if you start laughing, you better run.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't have a date for you. We're working really hard to keep the servers up and running, and we're working on it, but it's going to take a little bit longer. I don't have an exact date, but it's at the top of our priority list. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your question?
My question is, do the three legendary birds, Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres, have something to do with the three teams that you choose when you get to level 5?
Very insightful question.
Yeah, they're kind of aligned with those teams, and we got a little. Might share something with you about the teams in a little bit.
Yeah. Good questions from the kids. I believe the children are future. It's the everything we do. I decided long ago. What is your name?
Hello, I'm Winter.
Hi, Winter.
I was wondering if the movesets of a pre-evolved Pokemon have anything to do with the movesets of the Pokemon after they evolve.
You're gonna have to dial up a Pokemon helpline on that one.
Yeah, it is. It is.
There's the battery pack.
The answer is yes. What is your name?
Hi there, I'm Adrian. First off, this panel wasn't started off correctly. Let's go Team Valor! Alright, sorry team mistake. Anyways, my question is...
I didn't hear anything.
My question is, so I keep reading online, legendaries that are going to be popped out during special events. Is Comic-Con 2016 in what is this, Hall H special?
What is this? Typical Valor. Where are we? What day is it? How do I? Valor. What was your question? You were saying other legendary, other Pokemon turn up at the events like these?
Just like today. That's what
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
Any chance?
Any chance
Any chance of
other legendary Pokemon turning up at events like today?
Pokemon turning up at events like today?
Yeah, like special, anything special for events like this?
If I could summon a Pokemon for you right now, I would, man. But in the future, we.
People, please!
Come on, man.
We're just two human beings! Get a hold of yourselves! Get a hold of yourselves!
We're working hard. We haven't rolled the game out everywhere yet, so everybody's working real hard on getting the game rolled out. We just came up in Japan a few days ago. We're adding countries every day, so.
The game literally only just came out. The game only just came out. I mean, it feels like, what do you want?
So we're gonna get there, but there's no new Pokemon today. It's security to get you out of here. Hopefully there's a escape tunnel.
I don't know, I'm gonna run. I can't protect you. I'm not strong. What about you? We'll take one more question.
Hello, my name's Robert. Team Valor once again. Sorry you made the mistake.
But I have a keychain. You don't have a keychain.
I got the stickers. I got all the gyms in Imperial Beach, level 26. What's up? Oh. But my question is are they actually going to do something about poaching gyms? Because there's nothing like sitting there, taking out someone's level 8 gym by yourself, and then they get to put a Pokemon down before I can. I think we should get like 30, maybe 60 seconds to be able to place a Pokemon if you take the gym. It's not fair if other people are putting stuff down. Poaching is not cool. Douche move. Douche move.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you guys got the message. Don't poach. It's not nice.
Yeah.
It's not in the spirit of Pokemon Go.
Pokemon.
And
Team Mystic doesn't like to hear Valor whining
it's
about
actually a good
things.
idea. We should. Your point is acknowledged. We should help you out. So thank you for pointing out that challenge in the current.
Yeah, I mean, I know we talked yesterday for a while, and the idea is that, again, the game really has just launched, and so I know there's a laundry list of things that they have to get through and a laundry list of suggestions, and I mean, it's gonna roll out, like things are gonna roll out over time, which I think is what is great about, the game hasn't peaked yet. It seems like it's only just started and there's so much further to go. What? Oh, the 3-step bug?
We're aware of that one. We are aware of that one. I heard about it on this interweb thing. There's some people talking about it.
People are angry on the internet? I don't believe it. Show me.
Should we got a little something? Should we?
We should maybe show a little something. I mean, I say we like I had anything to do with this. I didn't. I'm a chimp in a vest. Like, I'm not really. I'm a manky in a vest.
All right. Let's do that. What do we got? All right. All right. So let's bring up. We're debuting for you here the leadership of Team Mystic. So you've only seen these guys as silhouettes in the current product. So because maybe we didn't get quite finished before launch day. Maybe. So Blanche for Team Mystic is going to be introduced. This is going to be part of the product. Blanche. Yeah. Okay.
Who else?
Well, let's see what else we got. My team. All right. Let's see the leadership for Instinct. Spark. Yeah. Okay. Spark.
And finally, do you have to show the other one?
Is there any? No, There's no valid people here.
I haven't heard any valid people.
So let's see, what do we got here?
So these are the team captains, and they're going to be available in the game soon.
Dispensing advice, and you'll be hearing from them in a variety of ways.
So before we leave, and first of all, I want to thank you for coming to Comic-Con, and obviously, I know this is a lot, and I know, people are hitting you with a lot of questions. When am I getting this? When am I going to? It's all coming. I think you guys are going to be very happy for years to come. Do you have any tips or anything to leave everyone with before we leave? Is there any last words or any parting wisdom?
Always spin. Use the lucky eggs. And but in all seriousness, keep in mind the spirit of the game. Play with your friends. Have fun. See your city. Get some exercise. And above all, be safe out there when you're playing. Thank you all for letting us come here and be with you today. Thank you.
Yes, on behalf of everyone, thank you for Pokemon Go, and thank you for forcing me to get outside and talk to other people in real life. And thank you guys. I know I tease the other teams, but it's meant out of love, and I've really enjoyed playing with you, and I'll see you out there.
My username is it's 2 B's, HARDBBICK, because some other jerk had hardware before I could get to it the first day. So hopefully I'll see you out there, and thanks so much for coming. Thanks to John Hankey, thanks to Niantic and Nintendo, and this is my last panel. Thank you so much for being with me. For those of you who are, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you next year. All right, take care. Enjoy.